how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Rather than breaking down film this week, I decided to actually answer one of our fans' questions. Here's what the comment was. How do you check your internal critical monologue and keep focused? As a beginner, I find I spiral down really quickly, and I'm not sure how to break out of that in the moment during the game. I thought that was a really awesome comment, and I like these because they give me ideas for videos that I can make. So keep the comments coming if you have any good ideas for videos or things that you want to learn. I love the mental side of things. I think that the mental game is probably one of my biggest assets. I'm not saying that I'm superior in it. I'm just saying if I didn't take on the challenge of getting better and practicing the mental game and preparing my mental game for when I'm out there on the court, I would not be in the position I am today. Straight up. A lot of people think that athletics is training your body and your craft, right? Volleyball and physical training. Your mind is just as important, if not more important. Obviously, you need to be healthy, you need to be in shape, you need to physically be able to do the things. But the mental side it's not just like the thing that gets you over the top, it's a whole chunk of it. It's a third of it, in my opinion. So let's break down 5 of the most important mental skills that I use for my game. There are so many skills out there. This is an endless hole we can go into, but I picked out 5 that stand out to me. Number 1, practice. We practice lifting weights, right? Training our muscles. We practice playing volleyball, learning how to do the skills. You got to practice mindfulness as well. You can't just show up in the game and be mentally strong. You have to practice this. It's like a muscle. What I do is I show up to practice early and I try to get about 5 minutes of meditation in, even if it's 1 minute, some kind of mindfulness where I'm just observing the present moment, trying not to let thoughts come in. But if they do, I allow them to come in and then let them go. I'm just trying to get myself into a state, a familiar state that I can access easily once practice starts. One thing I think you really need to practice is being comfortable in front of others. No matter if you're playing in front of giant stadiums of fans or just with the 4 individuals that you're playing with that day, you're playing in front of other people. And a lot of times we're taking in judgment and allowing that to change our actions. But the reality is you need to be here. This is the only thing that you need to be worrying about is what you're doing, where your thoughts are going, and then being able to bring it back. But if you can't let go of the judgment of others, you're constantly going to be bringing in information, and that's going to be distracting from the task at hand. So, for example, when I first started meditating, I couldn't do it in front of anybody. I was too embarrassed. But I practiced it, and I got to the point where I just accepted that that's me. I'm just going to be my authentic self. If other people think it's weird, then that's fine. But once I accepted that, I was able to be an even more authentic version of myself on the court. And that allowed me to relax on the court more and focus more because I'm not getting distracted by this judgment that's coming in from the outside. And most of the time it's not even coming in, but you're thinking that people are judging you. So it's just a waste of time and something that you need to practice though. Point number 2 is preparation. What I'm talking about is the preparation right before the match. You're setting your intentions, right? A lot of times people will set really high intentions. They want to play the best match of their lives. They want to play even better than they've ever played before in this particular match because this is the biggest match. That's a trap. You can't play better than you've ever played before. You're going to play as well as you've practiced. If you're in a big match, if you're in the championship match, let's say, any match, just something that you care about, you need to play as well as you played just to get yourself to that match. Because you're in that championship match or you're in that next round, right? Play the way that got you to that match. Don't try to play better than that because that takes you out of the moment, out of all the things that you've practiced. You're trying to do more now. And the path to mastery, when you're trying to go further, a lot of times it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And you don't want to be taking that 1 step back during that important match. So you have to trust your preparation. You set your intentions, you have expectations of how you would like things to play out, but then you let it go and realize, okay, I aspire for these things to happen this way, but they don't have to. And the reality is they won't. They're not going to pan out the way that you pictured it. Things are going to change, things are going to be different. And if you're not ready for that change and for things to go, crazy, and you're not ready to adapt to it because you got in your mind, things were supposed to go this way, I was supposed to play good, I was supposed to pass good this whole match. Well, maybe you're going to win the match still, but you're going to win it by not passing well. That's not how you pictured the match going, but you need to be open to winning in any way, shape, or form. A lot of times my partner and I say, the match is going ugly, and we go, hey, we had all these plans, those are out the door. If we have to win ugly, let's just win ugly. And that allows us to be like, who cares about the skills and the little things that we're doing? Let's just be present and allow our training to apply itself. All right, number 3, be here. Sounds simple, sounds like the, big thing in meditation, right? Be present, be here, be still. But that's the truth, is you have all this practice, right? All this preparation. So there's that expectation that it's gonna help you and it's gonna make you better. You're better now because you put in all this work. The reality is you can't control that. You've put in the work. You need to now step aside and say, I'm just gonna be present from second to second, minute to minute, whatever it is, hour to hour, and just trust that all that preparation and practice is going to apply itself. You can't apply it. This is a subconscious thing that needs to apply itself. But if you put in that work, chances are it's going to apply itself. But not if you're not present. If you try to force it, if you try to think your way through things, you're not going to get to that flow state. Nobody says, I was in this flow state and I was just thinking about everything and calculating everything and coming up with great ideas. No, they tell you, I was in this flow state. I was just, it's called flow. Like you're flowing like water. You're not controlling anything. Everything's just happening in the moment. And you're letting go of control, really, is what's happening. So, having thoughts come in, having all this external stuff come in, just accepting it in one ear, out the other, that's getting yourself to that flow state. And there's a lot of little tricks you can do. And those are things you're going to have to find for yourself, is doing this more and more so that you start to observe, okay, what is my flow state? How did I get there? What cues can I use to get there? But the reality is you have to be here, be present, and don't try to control the outcomes. Number 4, check in often. This is something I came up with because these are these mental cues that help me get to that flow state, right? So I've done the preparation. I'm practicing being here in this moment, but I'm not controlling it, right? So all these thoughts and stuff are coming in, and sometimes I'm just not thinking about anything, which can be good or bad, or, these thoughts are coming in my head, but they're not the ones I want. So I create routines that help me to check in. It reminds me, oh yeah, where am I? Ask yourself where you're at, right? So for example, we call a timeout. Sitting on the bench, I try to do breathing. Instead of going straight to my partner, hey, maybe we should do this or that or this or that. No, I'm gonna take my breaths here, make sure that I'm in the right place. Personally, I have to take care of myself before I can take care of my partner and my team. That's the most important thing. So when I'm at timeouts, I have a routine of breathing, and that brings me back to the present moment. And once I'm in that present moment, often the right idea that I want to communicate to my partner comes up, but I have to bring myself to that moment. Another thing I do is when I'm blocking, I walk out there and I flatten the sand. I'm feeling the sand. I'm doing something that's putting me in the present moment, right? Because I'm looking at holes in the sand. I'm flattening them out. And I'm not thinking about what's going to happen or what already happened. I'm doing something in the moment, and that brings me, it's just a cue for my brain that brings me to this moment. And then I look up and I'm like, oh yeah, the match is here. But I'm right here, right now. I'm not thinking about what's going to happen or what I need to do or what happened before. Serving, I get the ball, I put my middle finger on the air valve of the ball, it's just a cue for me. It helps me to focus myself. Instead of just, letting my brain go somewhere else, I'm looking for that air valve. I'm feeling the ball. I'm tuning into my senses. When you tune into your senses, you're oftentimes present. So that's just little mental cues. Checking in often so that I can stay as present as possible during that match and apply all the things that I've practiced and prepared. All right, number 5 is trust. And I think this is a big one, and it comes up often with us. And when I heard the comment saying that I spiral out of control easily during games, the biggest thing that I thought of was trust, right? And trust to me is letting go of control. So, for example, a lot of times you're trying to control where your focus is. You're trying to control what your partner does. You're trying to control what the other team does. Reality is you don't have control over anything. You don't have control over what thoughts come into your head, what the lighting's like, what the wind's like, nothing. So you're just wasting your time and energy when you try to control things, but it's a natural thing. It's going to happen no matter how good you are at mindfulness. So, for example, for me, I catch myself trying to control my partner. I'm trying to, he's hitting a little bit sharp here, so I'm going to push the set there. Maybe I should cover him. Maybe I should do this better. He hits a ball out. Maybe I push the set. All these little things. And the reality is, the best way for me to help my partner when he's struggling is for me to just trust him. Trust our preparation. Like, he's my partner for a reason. I need to trust him to get himself out of this hole. The best thing I can do for him is be the best version of myself. And the best version of myself is me being present and playing my best game, getting myself to that flow state for myself. He's getting every serve. Okay, I focus on my serve. I focus on blocking. I focus on defense. I focus on setting. But I'm not trying to micromanage his hitting or his passing, right? That's too much. That's not helping him. I need to trust him. I need to trust myself and my preparation and my practice. I know I keep saying those words, but it's true. If I don't trust it, if I start second guessing the training I've done, the conditioning I've done, I'm out of breath. I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't work out hard enough. Well, it might be true, but those thoughts aren't helping you right now. And if it is true, then you need to have a conversation with yourself after the match. Like, did I put in the work necessary to be ready for this moment? If you're questioning it during the match, then maybe you didn't. And that's not necessarily true either, because I put in an amount of work that I'm really proud of, and I'm still out there huffing and puffing sometimes, and the thoughts come into my head like, oh, maybe I should have done more cardio, and then I just say, no, shut up, thoughts. That's a dumb, unnecessary thought. Not listening to you, The dialogue's not even that long, hopefully, but I just let it go. Okay, that was a thought. I'm just gonna trust that I put in the right amount of work to perform in this moment. But really, it comes down to trust, and that's why you put in the work beforehand, because that trust comes easier and easier when you have that preparation. And if you're playing for fun, or that you're not able to put in a certain amount of work because you have a family, you have a job, or whatnot, then just accept that. Be like, okay, I'm content with the amount of work that I've put in, the amount of preparation I've put in. So I'm going to trust that and see how it applies itself. But if I don't trust it and I try to control it, that's when I spiral out of control. Trust that if you're a good volleyball player, you can get out of whatever slump you're in. Just remember that you're a good volleyball player when you're shank 3, you got ace 3 times in a row. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a good volleyball player. I was just spiraling out of control for a second, but I'm not going to buy into that narrative of, oh, now I'm not good all of a sudden because I got ace 3 times. Let it go. Trust that the 4th one is not going to be an ace, and it won't be. All right, that's what I have for you. I hope you like it. There's a lot more where that comes from, but that's also a rabbit hole of information that I could go on forever. So thank you for the comments. Keep subscribing. Keep giving me comments and ideas for new videos, and share with your partners, most importantly, because I'm trying to help everyone out. Thanks for watching.